I have a spicy story for you today. That's why I'm wearing my sriracha shirt. My mother thinks she's entitled to one of my properties, and let me tell you exactly why she's wrong. This comes complete with updates. I haven't seen my mother since I was 16, and we were in court. So, 19 years I haven't had any contact with the mother. She hired a private investigator to find me, and I still refuse to talk to her. I even have my lawyers send her a formal letter of no contact, and threatened her with a restraining order. She sent me this email to me through my work email. I shortened it, but basically it said this. To my name, this is your mother. I thought you would have matured by now and came to apologize to me and your father for what you put us through. Because of you, your father lost his teaching career and we had to sell our house. However, it's come to my knowledge that you own some properties in my area. So, it's only right if you give us one of them as an apology. By the way, it should be one of your most expensive properties. It would be a good fit for us. As soon as you hand over the keys to the property, we can finally be able to start to heal and get past this misunderstanding that you've blown out of proportion. I hope you come to the right decision. Guys, I just can't stop laughing at this. No, Trick. I'm not giving you anything. This is just another bit of evidence to help me get a restraining order against you. Hey guys, I have two parts of an update for this story. Here's the first one. I'd first like to thank you all for the hugs, well wishes, and rewards. I truly did not believe so many of you would see my post and leave these comments. Not going to lie, you gave me a bit of an ego boost. Secondly, I'm in a really good place in my life. What happened to me was over 20 years ago, though I'll probably never truly be over it. I am happy. Now, on to the update. Guess who's on and just so happened to see my post? I got another email from her demanding an apology for making her look bad on social media. She now has given us a deadline to hand over the keys to my home. I forgot to tell you all the most expensive property I own is my family's home. The one my husband and stepkids live in. But she's willing to, quote, compromise and take the apartment I bought for my auntie. Oh, am I supposed to let my younger sister, who I've never met, use my 2-bedroom apartment for free? I mean, after reading my post and seeing over 600 comments about how crazy and entitled she is, and she still thinks she's in the right, emailing me on my work email and leaving fake reviews online. She left too, with her actual name, has given me more evidence for the restraining order. So I guess I should thank her for making it so easy. Okay. Here it is, the final update. She was arrested. I have 3 properties. Number 1, the first property I never bought and now rent out. Number 2, the big house near water, aka my forever home. Number 3, the apartment I bought for my auntie/mom after my uncle or dad died. Properties 2 and 3 were not my biggest worries because, well, my mother would only be annoying my family, but number 1 is rented out to a lovely couple, and they don't deserve to be dragged into this. Can you guess which one showed up to? She showed up and tried to evict my great tenants with a fake eviction notice. She told the girls that she was my mother and I gave her authority to evict. However, good thing, I already gave the girls a warning about my mother, and if she tried, the first thing to do would be call the police and then me. They did exactly as I said. When I get there, my mother was trying to convince the police that I gave authority to evict them, and I was lying to them to get her in trouble because of an argument we had. But for someone who allegedly hired a PI to find me, she put down the wrong name on those forms. She did not know that I took my husband's last name. So she was arrested and I have a temporary restraining order on her. And she's not to come near me or any of my properties. As for my father, I told my sister that if she got my father's therapist's number, I'd give it to my therapist so they can discuss further about possibly maybe having a conversation with him. But only when my therapist and I believe I'm ready. I thought father would fight me and demand that I see him, but he didn't. He agreed to everything and told my sister that he'd understand if I never feel ready to see. On a lighter note, my coping methods for stress is building and or fixing things. So I converted my old garage into a Dungeons & Dragons gaming room for my husband's birthday. That's all the updates I have for you. Wow, this lady was toxic and vile. I could not believe the story I was reading about this entitled mother. Guys, I saw in the comment section from the original thread before the updates a similar situation story, and it goes like this. Keep fighting to protect yourself. I know it's not just me who's curious if what they did that caused you to cut them off. And how the duck could you be responsible for your dad losing his job? My stepdad accused me of the same thing. He was a journalist at a local paper. He was reported by CPS by my school in 5th grade because they found bruising on my arms from abuse. He was fired when the police report reached his editor. Karma. But almost 30 years later, it's still my fault. Was still bringing it up in 2020 when my mother was dying from cancer. Dang, guys. What do you think of that story, and what do you think of the original story? Our next one that we're going to look at is, I did not know I was not supposed to steal. Cha-chunch. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and let's jump right into it. Yesterday, we visited a garden that my mom owns at 6 a.m. on a Sunday morning. My mom and I live in the city, and we often drive for 30 minutes to get to my mom's village in southern Thailand. The land she owns is too small to be called a farm, and we often call it the garden, where my mom and I can unleash our botanical skill and hobby. We're not farmers by trade, but we have a few trees and vegetables that my mom and I plant. We worked hard and cared for it for years. And on that day, yesterday, we went really early before sunrise to have more time before the sun gets too hot. It's baking by 10 a.m. But as my mom and I turned a corner, we caught a thief red-handed. She, the thief, was carrying 2 large bamboo sprouts, or aka bamboo shoots, which is the edible part of the bamboo. A bamboo sprout is delicious, and it's staple to many Asian cuisines. And each sprout/shoot was that size of a large newborn baby. My mom was initially in shock because the thief is someone whom she considered a friend and a confidant. A young and pious friend in her mid-20s who listens to my mom's stories attentively, unlike her only son, aka me, who is often cynical and, well, a know-it-all. I, on the other hand, never liked that person because she seemed to have a lot of authority in our affairs. So, catching her red-handed felt like the perfect Christmas gift with a big note that stated, I told you so. And the best part, she tried running away when she saw me before I blocked her escape. I went ballistic from 0 to 100% explosion in 0.6 seconds. And I immediately accused her of being a thief, a liar, and a traitor. And it was the perfect setup because her escape motorbike was behind me. I made a gesture with my arms that she could not outmaneuver me or beat me in a physical fight. I'm 104 kilograms or 230 pounds. She was probably 150. So instead, she called my mom for help despite of her absolute betrayal. For years, my mom's been complaining about theft and vandalism on our garden to anyone and everyone who would listen. Yeah, and my mom often got emotional and heartbroken whenever something that she planted and worked hard for went missing. This thief/friend knew the exact impact of stealing stuff from my mom's garden, but still she went for it. She's probably the cause of this recurrent headache for years. I told my mom and everyone else. We did not have a lot of crops in our garden, but we put a lot of love and time and hard work into it. I had my 2-stroke weed whacker and grass trimming engine. It's big, noisy, and heavy, just Google it. At the back of my Chevy Cruze yesterday. It's about 5 feet long and it's really heavy. I had to bring it with me regularly in our 30-minute journey from the city for years, only to see this garbage of a human being benefiting from our hard labor, and for years. I told everyone, and I was not holding back my words. We only had 6 or 8 bamboo trees on the land, and the main reason why we did not harvest the sprouts nor the wood ourselves was because we wanted to have more bamboo trees before we can start harvesting. So, this thief, or my mom's quote friend, had just destroyed a year of hard work and planning in one single day. So, what do? I say, explain yourself, thief. Excuse number 1. I didn't know that you'll be here today. And as dumb as that excuse was, she kept repeating the same sentence again and again, as it was a valid excuse to begin with. She was not sorry that she was stealing. No. She was more sorry that she got caught. In fact, I've never heard her saying I'm sorry or it's my fault to my face. She just kept throwing out more excuses into the air to which one would stick. Excuse number 2. Cuckmaw. My mom's sister who lived next door has given me permission to harvest the sprouts. Unfortunately for the thief, my aunt was at home the day before she decided to delay her next chemotherapy session for a few days. I was so loud at 6 a.m. in the morning that my aunt and a few other villagers came out to investigate the ruckus. As you can expect, my aunt had zero knowledge what the thief was talking about. So try again, thiefer. Excuse number 3. If I did not harvest them, the sprouts would spoil and go to waste. I swear that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard coming out of her mouth, and she's said some really dumb stuff in the years we've known her. So now she was doing us a favor by stealing our stuff. Just FYI, in case you have any doubt, a healthy bamboo sprout shoot does not spoil. It simply grows taller into a bamboo tree. Again, the main reason that we did not harvest the sprouts ourselves was because we only had a few trees, and we wanted to have a few more trees before we start harvesting, in more amounts that are sustainable. I had to drill this part hard into her tiny, minuscule brain, that bamboo sprouts are not like fruits on a tree. They don't spoil if we don't pick them. At the end, my mom pulled her friend away to sort out the problem among the womenfolk. The only real comfort I got was the fact that the whole incident went public really quickly. Hey, trust me, in this small community of mostly farmers, news and gossip spread faster than forest fires and COVID-19 itself. Especially about a neighbor who steals crops from other people's gardens and farms. You cannot and you shouldn't hurt someone physically to satisfy your anger, and to exert your own sense of justice on people for obvious moral legal reasons. But sometimes you can cause far more damage to a person with a scandal and disgrace in front of everyone. Believe you me, this is far from over. Man, the one thing I can't stand the most is a thief. It would be different if the person really needed food, but this person was just taking advantage of a friend. I want to read you this that the OP replied to. Please update this as soon as you can. I would love to hear this jerk side of the story and what's coming to her. My blood would boil if someone stole from me, no matter what it is, and people jump to their defense. OP replied saying, I'm guessing that she'll be avoiding me, like the plague, for a long time. I did ask my mom on our way back what was discussed when the village woman took her away. My mom was unwilling to say much, except that she does a lot of good in the community. Years of good work and good reputation are simply gone in one morning. Poof! Thin air. Guys, that's all the stories I have for you today. I hope each and every one of you enjoyed. I love making this for you. Support the channel by subscribing, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.